Hey, welcome back to Epic Boomerang Creations. I'm your host, Kevin. For this episode, we're just going to start right out here under my carport / studio, whatever you want to call it. So today, I'm going to do another planet, but I'm also going to add a pyramid in the foreground. So we're going to have the pyramid and then a planet centered on it, like one of my previous videos. But this time, I'm going to show you step by step how I do it and talk you through the process. So pay attention. All right. So I have an 11 by 14 piece of poster board. I actually have a second one, but I'm going to use that as a template. So I'm going to have my pyramid centered on the paper, coming about maybe a little less than halfway up. And then we're going to do a planet right here. So first thing I want to do is I want to lay down my base color. I have several colors set out, all Montana black. I have royal blue, punk pink, Dumbo, kickin' yellow, white, pimp violet, black, and then I also have my crackle effect. So I think we will start with a little bit of the punk pink. All right, I want to make sure with the Montana line of paints, you really want to shake them up. You want to shake them up for at least a good 2 minutes. So just bear with me while we're shaking this. It's probably really annoying. Maybe we'll just fast forward through this part until I get the paint all shook up. All right, so test that a little bit, and then just lay down some paint. Doesn't have to be precise, just approximately where you think your pyramid's gonna lay. Yep, just like that. You can go thick. You don't want the paint to pool on the paper, but you do want it pretty good coverage. Next, we're gonna go and throw down some kicking yellow. We're just going to go right over that paint with the kicking yellow. You don't have to cover all of the pink or whatever your first color is. All right, throw that to the side. Now I'm going to grab a piece of a magazine. You just crumple it up, and then it's going to go like this. Try to show some of that pink underneath in splotches. Now with this paint, you got to be careful because it does dry faster than your normal household spray paint. Yeah, and just like that. All right. So at this point, you got to let it dry completely. So walk away, go get a drink, go get yourself something to eat, but let it dry completely. Do not even try to do anything else until this dries 100% completely. All right, so I'm going to pause the video, let this dry for a few, and we'll be back. All right, so that is now pretty good and dry. Not completely, but it is enough for us to move on to our next step. So I just have another little piece of poster board right here, and I just want to kind of figure out where about I'm going to set. So about right there. All right, so now we got to think about where's our light source. Well, in this one, I think it's going to come in from over here. So that means, or actually, I'm sorry, over here. So that means a portion of our pyramid is going to have a bit of a shadow. So we need to go ahead and add that. You can see the paint wasn't 100% dry. Well, actually, I don't know if you can see that. A little speck of paint lifted up. So we're just going to let that go for a minute. And we're going to add in a shadow. All right. So I got my little scraper here. Add that. We're going to. Just like that. Now, like I said, we got to let this completely dry, and it may not look like much yet, but you'll see once we add that on, then this portion, we're going to have a section of our pyramid right here that has a darker side. It's just going to help us give the illusion of 3 dimensions. Yeah, I think that'll work out quite nicely. All right, so we're gonna let this dry and we'll be back. All right, so it looks like we're dry enough. So now we're gonna take our little template, and I was just messing around with some ideas here while we were waiting for the paint to dry. We're going to put the top, the very top, where those 2 colors meet, and just going to kind of press it, make sure nothing's sticking, and I think we're good. All right. So then we need to get something to weigh down this template so that there's no dog ears. So what I'm going to use is just a bunch of other little bottles of paint, just like that. And hopefully, if we gave this enough time, it is completely dry. So what we want to think about now is our planet that we're going to put up here. Planet, moon, whatever you want to call it. And I was thinking maybe some blue and some gray. So right now I have some Tiffany blue. That's probably why you want to spray the, you can't see it, but it's, the paint's not coming out very well, and it's because I didn't shake it very enough, but we're just going to make do. All right. Then we're going to take some light blue. And then we're going to take our Dumbo, which is, honestly, I'm not sure. It looks a little gray to me, but would it shock you if I told you I am red-green colorblind, and I'm not very good at distinguishing some colors. So this also goes to show you that you can still be an artist and create some visually impressive stuff, even if your eye, you can't perceive color that well. All right. And then just like we did before, we're going to take a magazine page, we're going to crumple it, but instead of dabbing this time, I'm going to place it down, and I'm going to just stroke my fingers across, and then I'm going to pull it up, and we're going to see what happens. And yeah, I like that. Now, since we said our light source is coming from here, we need to add some shadow onto our planet. So we're going to take, this time we're just going to take some straight black. We're not going to use the crackle paint, just some straight black. And sort of with a swooping motion, we're just going to come in and try to just like that. Put a little bit of curve into it. That might be a little too much for what I wanted, but it's all right. So now from here, again, we're going to let this completely dry. So I'm going to pause the video again, and we'll be back once this is 100% dry. All right, so I think the paint is dry enough we can continue. So now, to create our planet, we're going to use just a cheap plastic bowl. There's another artist I follow. His name is Casey Van Arsdale. He refers to these as Jaja bowls. Casey, I highly encourage you guys to go out there and watch his videos. He's an amazing artist, and he's what actually inspired me to get into this type of painting. So I'll link his page in the comments. Please go out there, check him out, give him a like and follow. Bonus, he is another veteran who served our country just like I have. So go out there, show him your support. All right, so we're going to take our bowl and roughly center it right about there. All right. So for our sky, I'm first going to start off just with straight plain black again. But I don't want to do the whole thing in black. I just kind of want to get the edges up here. So just shake our paint up really, really well so it comes out nice and smooth. And then get the corners, get the top. Just like that. All right. I'm going to transition to royal blue. Remember, this is your world, so you don't have to follow any rules that you don't want to. You can put whatever colors, you can have whatever color sky you want. Now I'm going to Pimp Violet. I love the names of these colors. There we go. And then we're just going to finish off with Pimp Violet. You want to make sure you do get around your bowl. All right. So now, once again, you want to let this dry completely. Once it's dry, we're going to come back. We're going to put some stars, maybe some other embellishments. And we're going to finish it off. All right, so once again, pause in the video. We'll come back once it's dried. All right, folks, we're back. Next, since our light source is coming from over here, We need to add a little bit of shine, or just a little bit of highlight for our planet. We're just going to do that by adding a little white, which is going to just give it a little bit of a white ring on one side. We're just going to come right in. We're not going to actually spray the poster board. We're going to spray the bowl up here, just so that overspray hits our poster board. Just like that. And then this part gets a little messy, so you might want to wear some gloves. I'm going to spray some paint on my fingers, flick off the excess, and then flick some stars. And you don't have to do it that way. There's other ways. You can take your can and just barely press the top so it's kind of sputtering paint. A little bit harder with these cans. But I always like the spray it on your fingers and flick. Gives a bit of a random pattern to the stars. Kind of just like that. The only problem is you end up with paint all over your hands. And this isn't exactly hardware store spray paint. Yeah, I kind of like that. So then what else can we do to give it a little bit of an embellishment? Give it a little more pop. We could take our kicking yellow again. And just give it a couple bursts. You may not be able to see it, but it just gives it a little bit of extra shine. All right. Last thing I want to do, put a little bit of a highlight down this side of our pyramid. Just a little. Just like that. And you'll see it once we remove our stencils. So we can go ahead and take all this off now. Take off our planet gingerly. And you probably see a little bit of paint lifted up right here. That's because I didn't wait until it wasn't dry enough. So it's no big deal. And we're going to peel this away very carefully. Yeah, it's going to stick because of the wet paint we sprayed. But, ta-da! There we go. If we wanted to get even fancier, here's something we can do. We're going to take our little giant paint scraper. Going to put it right down here, maybe about 1/4 of an inch off the bottom. All right. Press it down into the paint so it forms a good seal. We're going to take our royal blue. We're just going to hit the edges. We're going to take our white. Get right there in the center. We're going to take our hands and just smear it back and forth. And take a little bit of that yellow. Smear it. Take our white again. We're going to spray, not on the poster board, but on my scraper. Pull that away. Now you got water at the base of your pyramid. All right, so last thing, actually, I have an idea for something kind of cool. How about some shooting stars? How dry is that? Yeah, that's pretty dry. So you should gonna take your can, invert it. Now shooting stars are gonna come from the heavens toward the earth. Upside down, and give it a short, quick. That doesn't look too much like a shooting star. Now we can do another one. Well, let's do another one right there. All right. All right, well, so that didn't work out too well, but it's okay. Last thing, well, actually not the last thing. Always, always, always sign your work. All right. All right. There we go. Now, last thing, I promise. We're going to throw some varnish on our painting. All right, just a nice, good, even coat. All right, so now we're gonna let that dry and we'll pick this back up in the office. All right, I'll see you soon. Okay folks, we're back in the office and here is the final product. It's not completely dry yet, but try to hold that still in frame for you. Yeah, you see Charlie back there. But not bad. You can see up here at the top where it wasn't completely dry when I placed the stencil, my little bowl that I make for the planets. And that's what happens, is the paint tends to lift up. So if you try to do this, make sure your paint is completely dry before you place your stencils down. I chose to leave that in there to show you that even somebody who's been doing this a little while, I still make mistakes. I get rushed, or I rush because I want to see the finished product. But take your time and you'll create some awesome stuff. Even me, I'm not very good at this, but once in a while, I create something that I am just immensely proud of and makes me feel so good. And that's what I think is art is supposed to be, is, you know, something that, you know, just makes you glow. You know, not even if nobody else likes it, you know. So keep on creating, and like I said earlier, please go out, check out Casey Van Arsdale's channel. He does some pretty awesome stuff. All right. And as always, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. And if you keep watching, I'll keep painting. All right. Thanks.